Well, hey, welcome to Speaking of Horses. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about how to stretch and get your body ready for that ride so that you are physically ready and in motion with your horse. Jennifer Kotylo is our guest, and Jennifer is going to be coming right up with some of these great tips for you. Stay with us.
They are our family, and we only want the best for them. No standing water means clean, good tasting, algae-free, mosquito-free, and virus-free water. No risk of electric shock, no risk of fire from faulty wiring. Cool water in the summer, warm water in the winter. Water delivered fresh from the water supply at 50 degrees year-round. Drinking post water.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Kotylo, and I'm here today to tell you how, in 2 minutes or less, you can improve your riding with movement. We all know that we need a strong, supple core in order to ride well. But why is this? We're sitting on animals that produce a lot of energy, and we need to be able to absorb that energy and manage it without flopping all over the place. And this strong, supple core is what allows you to do this. So exactly what is your core? I think of it as being in 4 places. Your rib cage, your belly button, just above your pubic bones, and in between your 2 seat bones. So I'm going to lay down here and we're going to go through each of those 4 parts, and I'm going to show you how you find those and access them. So you want to lay down on your back, feet bent, ankles, knees, and hips all in alignment. We're going to lay down. And we're going to start with the top part, which is your lower rib cage. I like to think of my ribs as shutters, so they can be open or they can be closed. And open and closed. So a closed or partially closed shutter is the first part of engagement. I think as a rider, this is a really important thing to be able to do because it can be an extremely subtle half halt. I can just close my rib cage a little bit and my horse will come back. If I really push it down and together, he'll probably halt because it stops motion from traveling up and down your spine. So that's the first one. You need to be able to draw your lower rib cage down and in towards your spine. The second one is right underneath your belly button. This is a Pilates mantra, draw your navel to your spine. So I want you to imagine that there is a little string on the inside of your belly button and someone's underneath your back pulling it down. So you're pulling this down and in, not necessarily moving your bones. Some people will also say it feels kind of like a corset pulling around, right? So right now I'm pulling that in, but I'm not pulling my rib cage, just engaging here. The third one, I think, is the most difficult one to find. It's the muscles just above your pubic bone, and you want to feel as if you're being able to put pressure on your pubic bone and pulling it up towards your sternum. The last part are your 2 sits bones. So if you imagine your sits bones, those are my 2 fingers, I'm drawing them towards one another, okay? It's not a clenching of your tush, it's drawing your seat bones towards one another. So independently or in combination, I should be able to pull my ribs down, draw my navel to my spine, scoop my lower abs, and draw my seat bones together. Now I have an engaged core, right? Now, when you're riding, you really don't use this last one because we don't want to have our seat bones tight. We don't want our bones tight, we want soft. But I will tell you, most people need to firm this up a little bit. So while you're working out on your own, off your horse, keep working that. So you say, oh my gosh, this way to find your core without having to go through all this morning business. You're gonna cough. So I want everybody to cough and then hold that cough feeling. And you'll feel that your rib cage is down, your belly button is towards your spine, and you're drawing your from up towards your sternum. And that's your 2-minute tip for the day. If you want more information, you can go to my DVD or my website, www.jenniferkotylo.com. See you next time, and happy riding.
The rural American lifestyle. It's how we work, and it's how we play. It's how we learn and how we enjoy the finer things in life. How we take care of our animals and tend to the land. It's a way of life. Has been for hundreds of years. Now there's a whole new way for rural America
Timeless
to walk
fence
to.
systems, they're non-conductive, they're self-insulating, they're maintenance-free. Beyond that, they're very easy to install. They'll last for years and years. Timeless fence systems. Well, we at Speaking of Horses are very proud to have Total Equine Feeds as a sponsor for our many programs. We are really happy to have Dr. Harry Anderson and Total Equine Feeds involved with Speaking of Horses. They manufacture all type of feeds and nutritional products for all types of animals, horses, equine, cattle, birds, all types. Total Equine Feeds is a great supporter and longtime friend of Speaking of Horses. Thank you to Total Equine Feeds.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Kotylo, and I'm here today to tell you in 2 minutes or less how you can improve your riding through movement. We all need an elastic pelvis in order to follow the motion of our horse smoothly, effectively, and efficiently. But there's some places that tend to get tight, and I want to show you a couple of different exercises to help you with that. One place I see a lot of stiffness is in a rider's SI joints. Those are the joints that attach the 3 parts of the pelvis together. Your pelvis seems like it's one thing, but it's actually 3. And so there are 2 pieces, like a Mickey Mouse ears on the side and then a piece in the middle. And where the 2 Mickey Mouse ears meet the piece in the middle, those are your SI joints, and they tend to get stuck. So the first thing we're going to do is a fun little exercise to help loosen all this area up, which is right in this part of your lower back. So what you want to do is sit up straight, hopefully with your legs out in front of you, but if your knees are a little bent, it really doesn't matter. And we're going to do what I call a hip walk. So no cheating with your hands. You're going to start moving backwards. This is also really good for your abdominals. And it's easier to do on something not so slippery. And then you're going to walk forward. Again, it's just trying to get movement in your pelvis left and right. I would probably do, if I was doing this 5 feet up and 5 feet back, probably 3 or 4 times. The next thing we're going to do is to help open up and lubricate, I call lubricate, your hip joints. So I want you to lay down on your back. You're going to lift one leg up and place your hands around your knee. Now your leg is not going to do any work. I want you to imagine that your leg and the hip joint is like a mortar and pestle, and you're making pesto in there. You're going to slowly, with your arms, move that femur head, move that bone around in that bowl. It should feel very smooth. If it doesn't, it just means you need to work on this a little bit. And then you're going to reverse. This is a very tiny motion. What's important is that your arms are doing the work, not your leg doing the work, because you want to keep all the muscles out, and the muscles around this joint will start to relax by letting the arms do the work. So I would do this probably, 30 seconds on each leg. And notice, just for your own sake, which leg is easier to move around. Today, it's my left, but sometimes it's the right. All right, so once you've done that for about 30 seconds on each side, we're gonna do one more stretch to really help stretch out the outside of your hips. So I'm gonna stand up. And you wanna do this, you can do it on your bed, you can do it on a taller chair, a stool. If you have really not such great knees, I might not suggest doing this, but you're gonna take one leg up and cross it in front of you. So I've got a pretty open angle here, and then I'm going to fold forward from my hips. I'm gonna place my hands down here. Right now, I've got this yummy, yummy stretch going on this outside hip. As you get more and more flexible, you can bring your leg closer to you and you can start coming down more, right? You're gonna do this on each side. If you're very flexible, people know this is the pigeon pose. I'm gonna come back up on my mat and do the exact same motion, but with a lot more extension. So this would be the third variation on that. But in all, you're really opening up and stretching this part of your body. So those are 3 quick and easy exercises, 2 minutes or less, that will help your riding through movement.
Well, you're joining us here on Speaking of Horses, and we'll be right back with more from Jennifer. EquiAid, the first and last aid for wound, skin disorders, proud flesh eliminator, all guaranteed. Safe and effective water-based, naturally antibacterial. You'll want it in your tack box, in your trailer, on the trail with you, or any event. That is EquiAid. Check them out, equiaid.com. EquiEssentials Horse Care Products, a complete horse care package of all grooming, skin care, body care products, all from EquiEssentials. Developed by Dr. Tom Tweeton, these products are all tested and checked to make sure they're safe on your animals, horses, and in some cases dogs and the like. But you need to have EquiEssentials as a part of your tack box and routine. That's EquiEssentials Horse Care Products.
Welcome to the world of Orange Slow Feeder, the longest lasting, highest quality slow feed net in the world. We currently have 12 different sizes, and we have anywhere from a small trailer net clear up to a 6x6 round bale or a 4x8 square bale net. And you can contact us at orangeslowfeeder.com. We also have a Facebook page, and we're at Pinterest, and we'll be on Twitter soon.
I want to give a great big thank you to Adeptus, animal nutrition based on science, designed to help your horses and other pets and animals. Adeptus, now a part of the Piranha family.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Kotylo, and I'm here to show you in 2 minutes how you can improve your riding through motion. We all know that good equitation has shoulders, ears, hips, and heels in alignment. But what if these are in alignment and your pelvis is in the wrong place? Your pelvis is what meets the saddle. And what we really want is a pelvis that's in neutral. And what that means is it's not tipped too far forward, putting an arch in your back, or rounded too far back, putting you in a chair seat and throwing off your balance. So why is this important? If I'm in this position, when the motion of the horse comes through me, my hips really can't move very much, and so I can't follow a big moving horse. If my pelvis is in this position and the movement comes, it throws me up and out of the saddle. So we want to try to find this nice neutral position. Unfortunately, most of us, because of injuries, because of postural proclivities, don't have the most neutral posture. So I'm going to show you just a couple of nice, easy ways to help get your pelvis back into neutral. So we're going to come over here. I want you to lay down on a mat or on a floor. And what you want to make sure is that your ankles and your knees and your hips are in alignment. And if it's difficult for you to keep your knees facing the ceiling, I would have you put a little ball in between and give it just a little hug. You don't want your knees falling to the outside. And we're going to imagine that your pelvis here is a clock. So we've got 6 o'clock at the bottom, 12 o'clock at the top, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And you'll notice when you're laying here that there is a little bit of a space in your lower back. I have a fairly flat back. Some people have more of a space, all right? But you just need to be conscious of that space. And what you're going to do is we're going to draw the 6 o'clock up just to the point where your lower back is very flat. And then you're just going to release that down. And you're going to draw this up and down. And you want to do this 6 to 10 times. Now what you want to make sure you're doing is pulling up, not pushing up. Because if you push up, you're going to use your buns, and we don't want to do that. So once we've done that 6 to 10 times, we're going to pause. And now we're going to do the opposite motion. We're going to lift the 12 o'clock up. You'll notice that as my 12 o'clock comes up, my tailbone goes down and I get more space here in my lower back. And we're going to just do that motion 6 to 10 times. Once that becomes fairly fluid, we're going to combine both motions. So we're going to lift up, back it's flat, go through all the way to the back arches. And we're going to just rock slowly. You want to pay attention that that movement is fairly smooth and even, that there aren't any little hiccups. If there are, you want to slow down even more so you can really control that.
Well, we want to give a great big thank you to Jennifer Kotylo and her information and informative exercises getting your body ready to go riding regardless of your discipline. Thank you for joining us here on Speaking of Horses. See you next time.